Hi, my name is Brittany Hamlet Concepcion, and I am the Virtual Content Specialist for Multilingual Learners and English Language Learners in Science for grades K through 5. I'm here to talk to you about how you can help accelerate the learning for your students as they go through the content and grade level work for week 23. So the contents of this video will include the flow of this week, the instructional focus for each day, as well as weekly target vocabulary, some strategies for language instruction, and some additional resources. As always, you can find some general supports for teaching your multilingual learners and English language learners at the beginning of each slide show for each lesson. And you can always find all of the resources from core knowledge, visual thinking routines, as well as any other additional supports that you may need at the beginning slides of each lesson. So here is the flow for this week. This is week 2 for Unit 4, which is protecting Earth's resources. The two focus questions you will see are how can human activities affect the quality of water, and do all humans have access to clean water? For days 1, 2, and 3, students will be able to describe how human activities affect the quality of water. On day 4, students will read about the challenges people all over the world face in trying to access clean water, and they will prepare to write a letter. On day 5, they will write this letter to Congress explaining the problem with the lack of clean water in the world and in the United States. They also have to explain why this is an important issue. Of course, as we're thinking about how to support our English language learners and multilingual learners, we have to think about the language modality-centered activities that they will be completing. For days 1, 2, 3, and 4, we're having more reading and listening centered activities where the students will have to have writing and speaking outcomes. They'll have to read or listen to a text and have to write about it by taking notes or recording on a graphic organizer, as well as speaking about what they're learning. On day 5, they will be expected to complete a writing-centered activity with reading and speaking outcomes. As you're planning your week, these are some possible language objectives you can use in showing how the students will complete the instructional focus, or they will complete the content objective. So for days 1 and 2, students can tell or write or label how human activities can affect the quality of water by using words such as fresh water, natural resources, or conserve. On day 1, they can also use an additional sentence frame such as human activities affect the quality of water by or when, because. For days 2 and 3, the text that has been provided focuses on the causes and effects of human activities affecting the quality of water, so they can continue to use those weekly target vocabulary words as well as cause and effect words, or phrases such as because of, the effect of, so, if then, as a result of, and since. On day 4, students are expected to read or listen to a text, so you can have them record and cite details from the text on a problem and solution graphic organizer. On day 5, students are expected to write or tell a letter to Congress explaining the problem with the lack of clean water in the United States using a word bank or linking words like because, since, so, and or the reason why. So of course, when we're thinking about the target vocabulary words for this week, we're looking at words such as freshwater, natural resources, conserve, environmental damage, cause and effect, problem and solution, inequality, pollution, and defecation. So as I mentioned in the week prior, you can create this word wall for this entire unit where students will continue to add words. They can add pictures, such as this one, like on Padlet. And what is great about Padlet is that students can add GIFs, they can add videos, they can add all sorts of media to help them to understand what they are learning about. So for example, if we want to add something about natural resources, we might add another GIF. And this is a quick way to show that the students are learning. You can add images. And this is a really nice way to have students engaging in this kind of word wall, something that you would have probably had in the classroom, but now it's just virtual. And of course, it's ongoing, so you can use it throughout the whole unit. So here are some possible strategies for instruction as you go throughout your week. So this here on the right-hand side is the independent work that has already been provided in the slides. You might want to consider previewing the vocabulary using the 4-square graphic organizer or shared reading of chunk text, which I will show you how to do in an additional video. You can also do teacher think alouds. You can use sentence starters to help them to speak and write. Of course, giving them lots of think and wait time. When you're going into days 2 and 3, we're thinking about the causes and effects of water pollution. So in addition to having students reading the text that have already been provided, you can use a video such as this one that is available on YouTube. It's called The Causes and Effects of Water Pollution, Sustainability. And this may be a great way to accompany that text, as well as having the students using a cause and effect graphic organizer such as this one, shared reading of the chunk text, as well as previewing that vocabulary. You can continue to do that in days 2 and 3. You can use teacher think aloud, as well as sentence starters, and lots of think and wait time. For day 4, we're going more into the problems and solutions of how to create different ways to solve the water crisis around the world and in the United States. So you might want to review that target vocabulary for this week, as well as giving the students a pre-filled or completely empty, depending on their proficiency level, graphic organizer that's for problem and solution. You can use text annotation. You can use this video, which is about the water crisis. It was created by Illustrated Ideas for the World Water Film Festival. You can use closed captions on this video, as well as giving the students a word bank, sentence starters for writing and speaking, as well as having them work in a small group. And of course, lots of think and wait time. For day 5, it's very important that the students understand the structure of a letter and all of the components of a letter, so you can review that target vocabulary to ensure that they are using it in their writing, as well as using different leveled organizers such as these that I've created for you. You can show the different parts of a letter, but when you're thinking about your entering and transitioning and emerging students, you might want to use one that's a little bit more filled in so that students can take information they've already written in the graphic organizer from the days prior and just copy and paste them, or just fill them in if they're physically writing, so that it will be less overwhelming and to show that they are understanding the content that they've been exposed to throughout the week. They can also add images. You can provide a word bank. There are sentence starters already provided in this template, but you can provide sentence starters separately for your transitioning and expanding students as well. And we always want to make sure that we say that translation services are available via the Slides Translator, Slides add-on, which is a great resource for students, but it should always be used as a last resort, especially for entering and emerging students. The most important part of language instruction is that they are understanding the content and learning little by little in English. So translation resources or services can be one of the last resorts, since we do want them to learn the language. and I hope that this was helpful for you as you are planning this week. Please see my additional video that shows you how to chunk the particular texts that have already been provided by Core Knowledge and the digital slides. And I will see you in the next video.